Todd Andrews.
Do you guys mind if I stay seated? I tore my meniscus a little bit ago, but I can stand for most of this if need be. But hello, Clickstack County citizens and patriots. I consider you guys patriots for coming and watching over what's going on in your county. I really appreciate that. My name's Todd Andrews. I'm running for county commissioner. See, I moved to this area about 30 years ago. Met my sweetheart at Walt Disney World. We moved here, and my career is basically broken down into thirds. For about the first 10 years, I ran Loafer's Old World Bakery there in Bingen, and we expanded from just Bingen. We did a baking facility in Stevenson, Washington, and then we did a few coffee houses. One of a lot of you remember the Creamery up in White Salmon. And then the next 10 years, basically, I got something called white lung and couldn't bake as much and had 2 kids and another on the way. So started just doing consulting, helping other people open bakeries around the world. Also, I forgot to say with Loafers, we had 32 employees at the max. And then the next 10 years, I started consulting, helping other people open bakeries. Part of that consulting and employment was with King Arthur Flour and with Pendleton Flour Mills. And then the last 10 years, I've done some bakery consulting, but mostly it's been building houses. I'm a licensed contractor in the area, and new houses and remodels. So, as far as why I wanted to run for county commissioner, there was a group of us, and then the reason I thanked you guys as being patriots and standing guard is because basically until 5 years ago, I kind of had my eyes shut. I mean, my civic duty was basically on voting day. I'd come and I'd read the pamphlet, and it was very important for me to vote, but I was not going to board meetings. I was not going to school board meetings. I was not paying attention, and I realize now that it takes more than just voting. It takes being involved more than that. So there was a group of us that we were starting to pay attention, and we were looking, we'd have candidates come out, and we were looking for someone to run for county commissioner. Because we started to, as paying attention, we're like, I don't believe the decisions they're making are, one, fiscally wise, which is not uncommon in government. But then beyond that, it seemed worse than that. It seemed like every 2 to 3 years they do something disastrous that impacts, generational. Like you look at what they're doing in the jail now. You look at what they're doing. The contracts they set up for the windmills. You look at our landfill dollars. I mean, there's some big decisions. Every budget's important, but then every few years, there's very large decisions that you can't really change, and they have generational kind of impact. So those things are very important. That's why I decided to run. When I was asking people, they're like, well, "Why don't you run?" And I'm like, No. That is not my thing. Politics, no. And they're like, well, that's why you should run, and people told me that enough, and I'm like, okay, I guess not wanting to run is why, it was basically, I don't have money, I don't have a huge swath of land, all my funding is coming from small donations in the county, I'm not taking any outside funding, and I don't have any big development that I want to do, I don't have friends that have a big development that they want to do, and so I spent the last several months, besides the last 5 years, the last several months intensely reaching out to Democrats, Republicans, independents, people that on paper kind of hate my guts or they get a little upset when they talk to me, but I'm like, together I really believe that we can make these decisions, and that if we respect each other's personal property rights and personal rights, then we make those decisions. We make sure some outside corporation isn't going to come in here and just develop our land with solar and just fill it all out. And they're not going to come in here and put in these corporate things or things that are not going to help the citizens of Clickstack County. If we're all focused on that, it doesn't matter if you're left or right or center or whatever. If you're looking out for your neighbors' rights and for the county's rights overall, then things are good.